People's Experience of Hospital Discharge, Episode 5, Nicola, Heather and Royston. Leeds General Infirmary.
We're carers for Royston Cooper. We're both his twin daughters. With regard to discharge, I did speak to the nurse at LGI and asked for a copy of his discharge papers because my dad is in the Simpler Health. He claimed for staying in hospital, and it was only after we received that we found out that they'd replaced his knee. We did not know at all that he'd had a knee replacement. Prior to this, my dad had had 2 full knee replacements, and at that time it was sat up immediately, made to move, made to do that. During his time in hospital, he was basically left in his bed most of the time. It was only once we were allowed to go in to see him, we took him out in a wheelchair because the room that he was in, or the ward, it didn't have any windows. He didn't know whether it was morning, noon or night.
And also following on from that, because he was laid up in bed, because he was on an antibiotic drip, wouldn't let him out of bed, he became incontinent, which he wasn't when he went in.
Absolutely. His health deteriorated. He was left in bed. He was frightened to say anything. My dad has prostate problems, needs to go for a wee often, and he'd ask for urine bottles because they wouldn't let him get up. And then somebody else would use, and then they'd say, well, you've got pads on, that's what you should use it for, which is very, well, it's not good, it's degrading. And on talking to other people waiting to go in wards, they were all saying similar thing. But the general consensus were, please don't say anything because we've got to stay in here.
Because of the restrictions in hospital, we were only allowed to go in one at a time for 10 minutes. So what we used to do, we used to request a wheelchair, get my dad out in a wheelchair, take a picnic down for him, and we took you in the garden, didn't we? Which helped progress him because it was the only daylight that he saw. When we first saw him, when we were allowed to see him, after he'd been in the COVID ward, I didn't recognise him. He'd got a beard, he didn't have his teeth in, he'd no glasses on, and they said, oh, they're not allowed to do things like that. That just doesn't help in recovery. It's left my dad just frightened of ending up going back in hospital now. He's saying, the last thing you want to do is go back into hospital.
Because of how he was treated.
Well, I won't want to go in there again.
Discharge to South Leeds Recovery Hub.
They said they would let us know when they discharged him. We forgot to do that, so we rang up after 6 o'clock. Oh, he's already gone. So he went to then South Leeds Recovery Hub. It was very difficult, so when we found out where he was, I phoned up the next day to say, can we come down and see him? Oh no, you can't just come down, you've got to make an appointment. So we had to make an appointment, we got in for that afternoon to see him.
It was then a weekend and a bank holiday Monday, hence there'd nobody on a reception.
Then we saw the occupational therapist who previously phoned that morning to say who she was. She said she would be there. She took us up to see Dad, and he was sat in the lounge with another gentleman. Then we went to his room. But then from there, what was distressing, his knee was still very swollen. My dad was a bit confused, didn't really know where he was, and he was sat there in soaking trousers. So to see him like that for us was very distressing. We got his clothes to bring home. Nobody said, oh, we were doing washing there or anything. We had to get him changed. There was nobody on hand to do that. And we had to be honest, we just both thought, what have we done? Like where they brought him? That was the first impression. Nobody told us or anything when we went to the recovery hub what was going to happen. We didn't get any information, no package, nobody told us what to expect. 1 minute he was supposed to be in isolation, and the next minute he was sat in the lounge with others. So we were very confused. He was given a lady who was going to deal with him, and there was a photograph of her and who she was in my dad's room. Please ask to see. So 4 days we asked to see this lady. We don't know where she is, she's not available. So for 4 days, the reception was also closed for 4 days. We didn't find anything out. Then eventually, after 4 days, this lady appeared and she gave us a package information with everything on, and from there on things did start progressing. It wasn't good for Dad, and it was distressing for us to see like that as well.
Thanks to Nicola, Heather and Royston for sharing their experiences.